Okay, welcome College of Eastern Idaho students, staff, faculty, and any community members that may be watching today. My name is Mike Walker. I'm the Dean of Students, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Vice President Lori Barber.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. Glad to be back, Mike. It's been a minute since we've hosted this show.
Yes, so I think we did one in August. I was there, but you were out of town.
Okay.
And then before that, the last show you were in was in May, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so. That's why it feels so long ago since I've been here. And I'm so glad to be back, though.
Yes, I'm glad to have us back as well. We have decided that we'll do this. This will be a monthly show. So except for on holidays, the first Monday of every month, which is why it's today the 13th, because last Monday was Labor Day. So we'll do this show the first Monday of each month at noon, just to talk about updates, talk about campus, just another way to engage with our community.
It'll be wonderful. So should we just launch in, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right. So as per usual, I have the quote of the day. So it's a short one. It comes from John Pierpont Morgan. He's a financial guy. Most people know who he is. And I just thought this was good because we've just started the semester. And he said the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. And many of you students have decided to take yourself somewhere better by enrolling in classes at CEI this fall. We really applaud you for taking that first step to change your life, to change your journey, and we are here to support you. And we're going to be talking about a lot of the supports and resources that we have available at the college today in our updates. So Mike, I will turn it back over to you.
Okay, so as some of you may be aware, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So tomorrow, Tuesday, 9/14, there'll be a screening of the film called My Ascension, which is a story of a teenager who survived her suicide attempt, only to be left with a lifelong disability. You can check out the trailer and/or register by clicking or by visiting the URL https://watch.showandtell.film/watch/Idaho, and you can see that link is on the screen right below us. The screening opens at 6 p.m. tomorrow, but you can watch it anytime between 6 and 8 p.m. tomorrow. So it's a really important idea, this concept of suicide prevention.
Yeah, really important topic, Mike. I'm really glad that we're doing that. So just moving on to the next update, we have new sessions for classes in our Career and College Readiness, CCR, beginning on the 25th of October. We'll have GED, ESL, and college prep. To find out more about what we're offering and when those classes will be offered, you can email ccr@cei.edu, or you can call 208-535-5386.
So Falcon Fest was a huge success this year.
Yes, it was.
We had quite a few different kinds of activities, did some new things, brought back some old things. We had trivia, we had meet and greets, we had activities, we had baseball, we had dodgeball. We did a lot of really fun things. So kudos to the Student Affairs team that helped out with that, as well as to our Student Senate for organizing and planning and doing a good job, even over the summer, getting ideas organized. Particular kudos to Lori Killian, yes, and Courtney Richard and Haley Mack and Justin Esplin, Connor Sorensen, Nathan Brown, myself, and and several other committee members who helped out. Effie Hernandez. There were so many people in Student Affairs who helped out this year with Falcon Fest. So I wanted to say thanks for that. Keep in mind, students, we will have a lot more activities throughout the semester. Student Senate plans an activity just about once a week. And sometimes they're pretty simple things, but they do a lot of activity planning for you. So just keep your eyes peeled on your email. Also, watch your email today for Student Senate election voting information. The current Student Senate is about half elected. We leave about half of our positions vacant for freshmen to have an opportunity, as well as there were some vacancies that went unfilled last year. And so today at Student Senate, we'll discuss what those look like, and then the positions that didn't have any applicants will actually just appoint to in the next few weeks. So we're very excited about that.
So Falcon Fest was amazing. There was food, so much food, Mike.
So much food, right?
Donuts, taco bars, ice cream bars. I mean, it went on and on and on. And there's also a dunk booth, Mike.
Yes, we did have a wonderful dunk tank.
Did you get dunked, Mike?
I did. I got dunked 6 times.
6 times?
And I was last, and being last means that I was sitting in everyone else's dunk tank residue.
That's kind of gross.
It was gross, but we raised a lot of money for student scholarships.
That's really good. 6 times. Lots of people lining up to dunk you, Mike.
There were. I tied for the record with Justin, but one of his doesn't count because it was his wife for one of his. So
okay. I was
also twice the time because I needed to fill a vacancy. So
maybe you were filling my vacancy. I don't know. So I could not do it this year. I had a meeting. I had a meeting right after, and I chose not to do it. So anyway, all right, moving on. Well, thanks for being dunked for money, Mike.
You're right.
All right, so fall semester 2021 is off to a great start. It's going to be yet another wonderful semester at CEI, but it is slightly adjusted, as we all know, because of COVID. So we do have a mask mandate in place in the buildings on campus. If you need a mask, they're available at most front desk and especially in student affairs. I'd also like to say thank you to all of the students who have been wearing those masks. It's really the best way to keep our campus safe, open, keep faculty, staff, and students all safe. So really huge thank you to everybody who continues to wear those masks. I know they're uncomfortable, none of us like them, but they are doing their job. So also please know you can always call us and share your concerns about COVID or about anything else at 208-524-3000, and you can choose option 4. You can also email us about any concern you might have at Student.Concern@cei.edu. And as you probably already know, we've published guidelines on our CEI COVID updates page. And if you go to our front page, there's a link there. I'm not going to read out that whole URL, but the link is there. Mike, do you have that up on the screen maybe?
Yeah, it's CEI.edu/COVID-19 information.
Okay, Mike, you're so good at that. So yeah, anyway, again, thank you to everybody who is, I know these protocols, we thought this was going to be behind us. It's not, and so we're dealing with it as best we can, and you guys have all been amazing to help us keep everybody safe and the campus open.
As another reminder along the same vein, there's free COVID testing September 15th, which is Wednesday from 11 to noon in Building 5, Room 593. So this is open to everyone on campus. If you don't have insurance, your test will be covered by Express Labs, the CARES Act funding, or various CARES Act funding. Testing is the nasal swab for the PCR test, and so that is happening Wednesday.
Great. All right. So everybody come and get your test. Again, just another way to keep us safe. Something that we are excited to do, we've started our student incentive project for vaccine incentive project for any student with a CEI ID and a vaccination card. You can present both of those at Student Affairs and be entered into a drawing. We're going to be doing a drawing for 10 $1,000 debit cards that you can go use anywhere. And you can enter through October 29th at 5 p.m. And again, you have to show your CEI student ID and then your completed vaccination card. So that's either 2 doses of the Pfizer, 2 doses of the Moderna, or 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson.
Yes, we're really excited about that. Students, please come and do that because it's both a good way to keep yourself safe and also you could win some serious cash.
Serious, $1,000 is a lot of money, Mike.
It's really a lot. I really think we have a good plan for that.
I do too.
So next up is our financial aid updates. Financial aid is now inside the Student Affairs office in room 311. So we've had some reorganization. The registrars is where 353 where financial aid used to be, and of course advising is across the hall from them. And so just remember that we've had room changes. FAFSA is still open for fall 21, spring 22. Complete it now and you can get aid for this term. First-time students and first-time borrowers that have accepted student loans, funds are held for 30 days and then will be released after September 3rd. Funds will be sent by e-refund and checks mailed out to students. So that's just a heads up. So we're past that deadline, of course. The next release for funds will be after September 10th. That's today, the 13th. Attendance verification is required now for refunds to be released. So make sure that you've done that. Or well, your faculty will have done that, so that way they can be released now. And refunds and checks will be released after attendance verification is fully completed. Verification and tax requests have been waived by the Department of Ed for fall 21 and spring 22. So that makes the process a little bit easier for folks. Please watch your email for updates and check self-service for award changes, and for other missing documents, please contact our financial aid office for questions. The new FAFSA will be open October 1st for the 22-23 academic year, so you can get your application in early even for then, and that's a ways away, but you can be prepared for the following year. And then for that particular academic year, you would use your 2020 tax returns.
Mike, can you believe we're already talking about the academic year of 2022-2023?
Nope.
It's crazy. All right, a few more financial aid updates. Work study positions are available and open. Those positions start at $10.50 an hour. Hours range anywhere from 10 to 19 hours per week, and they're flexible with your class schedules. So please contact financial aid to apply, and if you have any questions. Also, Mike and I were both work studies, really great experience, so be sure you check that out.
Really, really nice experience, yes.
Yeah. The last day to withdraw from an early 8-week course is September 27th. Keep in mind that withdrawing from a class or a few classes can affect your satisfactory academic progress. So be sure you check with financial aid before you drop classes to see how you might be affected. Withdrawing from all classes will cause a payback to your financial aid. So again, please contact financial aid to discuss your options and potential payback. Probably best to do that before you withdraw, so you know all of your options before you do that. Scholarship information, you can find out more about that if you call 208-524-3000 and choose extension 7, or you can go to the financial aid or foundation office, both located in building 3.
So I'm going to talk about academic advising. So we recently did a restructure so that now you have greater access to academic advisors here on campus. And they're a resource for students if they need help with adding or changing classes, advising help, making plans. Planning your academic career can really be something you can start as early as your first semester of your freshman year or even beforehand. So now that you're here and you're taking classes, you can plan your next 2 years and maybe even your whole 4-year career with these folks and with our transfer office. So for example, what if you don't know what math class you need to enroll in? The advisors are in room 351. They can answer that question. They're friendly and they're ready to help. Also, it's great that we have a new learning management system, Canvas, and we have 24/7 chat phone support accessible by the help option inside of Canvas. We also have a chat bot and live help during the workday for any questions you may have on the website or through advising. If you have IT questions, you can visit, call, or email the IT help desk. Their email address is helpdesk.it@cei.edu, and their phone number is 208-535-5444. So if you have computer problems, you don't know how to access your email, you can't get into your account, they can help you with all those kinds of questions.
Yeah. So advising is just so important. If you have questions, you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. That's why we have advisors, and they are amazing, super friendly and super knowledgeable. Also, Mike, so many new things, Canvas, chatbot. It's really, we have good things going on here at CEI.
We really do. We're very fortunate.
All right, so just a few comments about the Disabilities Resource Center. The Disability Resource Center is here to assist you with your accommodative needs. If you have a documented disability or you think you might benefit from an accessibility service, please reach out to the director of the Resource Center. One of these ways, you can email directly at disability.resources@cei.edu. You can call a couple of different numbers, 208-535-5363 or 208-535-5462. You can also visit the Alexander D. Creek building, which is building 5, go into room 591, and those office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and they are there to give you the help you need.
So in the same location as the Center for New Directions, C&D, as it's called for short, is a resource center for all students on campus. They provide study strategy workshops, career services, so it's our career center, including career exploration and resume assistance, food assistance through the Falcon Food Pantry, which includes grab-and-go food items that you can eat on campus, and they have a child care grant. This child care grant can help pay for your child care expenses while you attend classes here at CEI. Keep in mind, they can also do career services workshops. So like, let's say you want to do a mock job interview, that's available. They also provide scholarships for single parents and non-traditional students. So if you're a single parent, please stop by their office with, and they'll give you a lot of great information and help you back into the swing of things, as well as anyone else who's interested in using their child care grant. You can be married, single, it doesn't matter. You just need to be a student. If you have any questions about any of these services, please call 208-535-5363 or stop by their office in Building 5, room 591. It's in the northwest corner of that building.
All right, so just a few updates about Job Corps and Career and College Readiness. So Job Corps is a program that provides financial assistance and one-on-one support to students with any barriers to their educational success. The ultimate goal for all Job Corps students is a career path that is both personally and financially rewarding. They're in room 345, and that's where college and career readiness is. That's where GED, college prep, English as a second language is located there as well. In CCR, we offer GED and college prep classes to help you reach those educational goals that you've set, and that's at no cost to you. We also offer English as a second language classes to interested individuals. And we're really happy to announce a new class we're offering called Healthcare Pathways. This class is for English learners who are wanting to earn a CNA. If you or anyone you know are interested in our services, please stop by our office or call. They're happy to help. They're in Building 3, room 345, and their number is 208-535-5386.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about esports. Now, some of you are like, what are esports? What is esports?
Right.
Well, esports is casual and competitive video gaming. So our program offers a lounge for esports now, and we're starting to beef up that lounge. We're ordering couches and logos and decor for the room. But it's currently set up with 10 gaming systems, PC gaming systems, as well as Nintendo Switches. And we will be purchasing, with some recent funds, we will also be purchasing Xbox and PlayStation 5s. And that's available actually for students to go in and just play when they're open. So we have 8 gaming PCs, and I think we have 6 or 7 Nintendo Switches. And they can play Tuesday through Friday, 1 to 5 p.m. There's always going to be somebody in there for most of that part of the week. We held tryouts for PC games last week during Falcon Fest, and that was a huge success. So we're really excited about moving forward with our competitive teams. However, it's also not too late to get involved, even though we already held those tryouts. If you've got a skill or you're just interested in playing some games, just show up. They'd be happy to talk with you and get you involved in our esports program. So it's competitive and casual gaming. You can drop by during their open hours. We also have monthly Super Smash Brothers tournaments. So that's a Nintendo game for all ages. And then they feature cash prizes, and they're held on the last Saturday of each month. And you don't have to be a student necessarily to participate in those, although students do get it for a discount. Our next tournament is Saturday, September 25th. And if you have any questions, please email us at esports@cei.edu. So those are all of the updates that we have for the month this month for students. But if you have any questions, you can always email Student.Concern or give us a call at our main number that we shared earlier, 208-524-3000, option 4.
And we don't have a guest today, Mike. So there were so many updates and school just getting underway. We thought we wouldn't have a guest today. Our guest on October 4th, which will be our next show, is going to be Jodine Trimble. She is our Director of Nursing, and there's lots of exciting things going on in that program. So she'll be here to give an update on that. So we're excited to have her in a month. And so, Mike, I have a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. So
we'll be each other's guests.
There we will. And we won't drag this on too long. So Don't worry. We won't bore you. But we're never boring, right, Mike?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of our students are working full-time and going to school. So you and I both are working full-time and going to school, working on our doctorates. So how do you manage it all? How do you do it?
Well, I saw a photo posted on Facebook today from one of our mutual friends who is working on her doctorate as well, and I won't call her name out, but she just completed her comprehensive examinations. And I thought back nearly 4 years ago when I completed my comprehensive exams, or maybe it was 3 years ago. Anyway, and I'm still working on that dissertation. But managing, and it got me thinking about this question: managing your time in a doctorate. But it's not just a doctorate, right? Like non-traditional students, that's hard no matter what you're doing.
It
And I've
is.
been a non-traditional student in grad school twice, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. Time management can be really hard, and it's why time management is the reason that I'm still working on my dissertation, right? Like it's just hard at the end of a full workday to be like, oh, now I need to go do that. But it's all about picking priorities and setting goals and setting small goals and tackling them, especially when you're in the dissertation. When you have class deadlines, that's a really natural way to put deadlines into it. But for a non-traditional student in an associate's, bachelor's, master's, or doctoral program, or even an apprenticeship program, you look and create deadlines. So let's say you have a paper at the end of your semester, like you have a full semester long paper due in one of your classes. You have to create artificial deadlines for yourself that you can meet those goals and sort of check those things off the box. And this is actually good preparation for anything in life. I have to do that with work tasks, right? Like I have to say, okay, this is my I set my goal and I work backwards. I create a backwards timeline. What do I have to do to achieve that goal? And I think doing that and then sticking to it is the real key to that. How would you answer the same question, Lori?
Oh, I think you really nailed it. And it is so difficult. It is difficult, especially if a work day that you think is going to end at 5 ends up not ending until 8, and you had set aside, you said, here's something that I want to get done tonight or that night, and you don't get it done, or you're up really late. It's really hard. It's really challenging. But I do agree in setting those small chunked out deadlines and really sticking to it, and maybe even having a reward for yourself, a small reward, whether it's like I'm going to watch a show or I'm going to have a bowl of ice cream or whatever it is that is a nice reward for yourself. So I think trying to put everything off till the last minute, it never works well. And plus you're stressed the whole time. You don't really enjoy the things that you're doing instead of studying. Because you're doing something that went during your study time. So keeping those deadlines and sticking to them and then rewarding yourself is really the way you have to do it. And sometimes you just have to push through when you're really tired and it's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to get this done tonight because that's just going to put me that much further behind if I don't do it tonight. And I think it's also okay to know that not everything has to be done to perfection. That if you're tired and there's an assignment that you wanted to, I mean, we all want to do our best, and I'm not encouraging people to not do their best, but people don't have to do perfection. And I think many of us in our society today hold ourselves to perfection as opposed to something that's really well done and just getting it done.
I think you're right. I think there's also a trap there. Like, so one of the traps I fell into was rewarding myself first. And it reminds me of something my mom said to me all growing up. And I'm going to impersonate her, even though I do love her dearly, and she doesn't really sound like this, but it's the feeling that I get I used to get as a small child. Our work is done, we'll have our fun, right? And so she used to say that. And
what did she say, Mike?
Our work is done, we'll have our fun. And so don't reward yourself before you have completed the task. Don't do the other things until you've completed the task. And that's really hard. And it's a work-life balance. You really have to think really hard through any educational decision you're going to make, because it's going to have sacrifices that are required if you're going to be successful for your goals.
Well, and I think that is such a good point too, that I was going to say this before, but it reminded me of what I was going to say, which is this is a finite thing. Like if I thought I had to do what I'm doing now, working this job and working on a doctorate for the next 20 years, it would be like, forget it, I can't do it.
Oh,
but I know there's an end point. And that's the same way with getting your associate's degree, getting your certificate, whatever it is, you can see the end. Even if it seems like it's a long ways away, at least you know it's not going to be for the next 10 years. So knowing that end goal is in sight helps me keep going because I know it's not going to be forever. And just as a note, Mike, next March, I will be defending my dissertation proposal and doing my comps all in one 3-hour meeting. So that should be a super fun day for me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine combining those two activities together.
Well, Arizona State University thinks it's a pretty good idea to do that. I'm not so sure it is, but.
Well, they always say the best dissertation is a done dissertation. So the
right.
faster that you can get through it, because the dissertation is not going to be your magnum opus. It's your starting point.
That's
right.
The
first phase in a research agenda or the first phase in a career that's already, like you have, already in administration. And so it doesn't need to be the greatest thing you've ever done. In fact, for most people, their dissertation is the first thing they do. Right? The first major work they do. And so I agree with that. I actually think getting it done quickly is good. My advisors have advised me. It's just been really hard.
Sure.
I have a wonderful dissertation supervisor, and she is very patient.
Yeah. So in March, I defend my proposal, not my dissertation. So I defend my proposal and do the comps all in a 3-hour chunk. So
you do the comp. So how do the comps work? Tell us how your comps work at your.
They're oral comps. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's different.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm already feeling a little bit anxious about it, as you might guess.
I don't know how I would feel about that. Like, on the one hand, oral comps might be harder. On the other hand, I don't know. I mean, maybe I would take oral comps over written. No, I don't think so. So I had a 3-day weekend, or no, just a weekend, 2 days that I did. I had a choice. I could spend mine over five days, but have more questions, or I could do like 3 days. And it was all through Canvas, through Utah State University, where I'm doing my PhD. And I actually took comps twice. So the first time I got confused and I thought I had to answer all 5 questions. So I did turn in, or all 6 questions. So I turned in all 6 questions. Then I found out about 2 hours before it was due that I only had to submit 3. So I still submitted them all. But I was very frustrated with myself, and the instructions were clear. I just got confused. So I did not pass my comps the first try by 1 point.
Oh my.
Yeah. And so I had to do my comps again. And I did them again. and I passed with flying colors. When I did them the second time, I aced them. Sure. And I only had to do three questions, but it was 33 pages writing.
So, Mike, I think that's such a good point that you just made, that you did the comps the first time and you failed. And it brings to mind a professor I have this semester. She also failed her oral comps the first time. She decided to do a proposal that her chair didn't know about. She decided to spring it on the whole committee. And she wanted to write her dissertation as a restaurant menu. And she said, looking back, it just was such a horror. It was not a good idea. But that's what she did. She failed, but then she got, she didn't let that derail everything. So yeah. She hit a hard spot, you hit a hard spot, and you just kept going. So I think that's really good advice too. So
it was a good learning lesson to really be very careful and clear on what you're reading, because the work that I did produce in both comps was usable. I have changed my topics since then, but I've still been able to use all of that information and all of that work towards the dissertation. So even with the revamped dissertation that I've selected, all of it is, well, not all of it, most of it is still usable, for something. I guess my next question for you is, what would you say if somebody was interested in a career in higher education, and what would you advise them to do to prepare, especially for something like your position, which is a senior leadership role?
First thing that you could do right here at College of Eastern Idaho is be a work study. Mike, like you and I have both said, we were both work studies. I was a work study in the college placement at University of Oklahoma, and it was fabulous. I got to interact with a lot of business leaders in the community that would come on campus to interview people. My supervisor, she was a fabulous mentor for me, and so I would say that was a great first step towards this career. And as you know, I think both of our careers have kind of taken a long and winding route through higher ed. Mike and I think most of you know, we have a master's degree in history. Mike has a second master's in higher ed leadership. I don't know exactly if that's it. What is your second master's?
Yeah, higher education and student affairs.
Yeah, and so neither one of us are working historians, but that certainly was I think that there are a lot of degrees that can take you into higher ed. And so I think, following your passion of what you really like to do is important. And then maybe that will lead you either through the faculty ranks. Mike has been faculty, I've been faculty. So I think the first step that you can do right here, if you want to work in higher ed, is be a work study. Be a work study in a department where you think you might want to work. So that's what I would say. Mike, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, internships as well. Some students may not be eligible for work study, so
right.
I think an internship is a good option. We have those here too. But I mean, I think this is good career advice for whatever career you want to be. Like, let's say you want, or a career you want to go into. It's really good to get an entry-level job or an internship in a field that's adjacent or related or the same. And anytime you can do that, at least even if it's a volunteer internship that's short term,
yeah.
You can really get a taste of whether you like it or not, like that career or not, and then try it out and see what options there are. We've recently hired 3 AmeriCorps students. We're piloting another program, and that's a lot like work study. So there are ways that you can get connected and meet people, and then the other thing I would say is network.
Yeah.
Like, don't
for any career.
Any career, like, talk to people, go up to them and say, hey, I'm interested in your career. Can you tell me about how you got there? Or something along those lines. And this works for introverts and extroverts, right? Like, you don't have to be the most bubbly, outgoing person to just go up to somebody and say, or even send them an email if you don't want to go up to them. Hey, I'm thinking about a career like this. What's your advice? And then, of course, go to the Center for New Directions and talk to them about careers. And I think that's a really good way that you can think about what might be something that I like, and particularly if you're interested in something like higher education, which of course is my passion.
And there are tons of things to do in higher ed beyond just being a faculty member or even a student affairs member. I mean, it runs the gamut. So check out those work studies, check out the internships. That's good advice. Well, Mike, we're at 30 minutes, and I wonder if we should wrap up this broadcast.
Let's wrap it up, Lori. Thanks so much for coming in, and I don't know why I thanked you because you're the co-host, but
well, thank you, Mike. Too.
You're welcome. But we'll see you next time. That'll be the first Monday of October.
October 4th.
October 4th, and we'll have our guest Jodine Trimble, and we're excited to have that.
We are. All right, everybody have a great month until then. Check out all of those resources and stay safe.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.